Hi, Ken Coscia here, lead instructor and international training director for the Silva Method. I am so glad, in fact I'm thrilled you're here, because today in this video I want to share with you an answer actually and add clarity to some of the most common questions that I hear about the Silva Method. My first love, I think a wonderful, powerful, time-tested, now in our 50th year, and thank you so much for your interest. So if you're watching this video, you've expressed an interest to us in the Silva Method, and perhaps you have yet to make that investment in yourself, and you may have some of these questions. So if you would, listen close and allow me to answer some of the most common questions I've heard about this program. Again, knowing what you know, what you've read about us, what family and friends have told you, we've been around a long time, millions of people have been through this program, so you know there's something to it. But one of the questions that comes up pretty commonly is time. God, Ken, you conduct the program in 4 days. You know what I call the 4-day immersion of life and intuition system. Whew, I'm so busy. I can't leave work. I can't get time off. Believe me, I know what you're saying. We're all busy. In fact, if you're really that busy, I suggest maybe, just maybe, you really ought to listen and make the investment. Because that's not exactly a prescription for happiness. That's a prescription for burnout. Being so busy like that with all the demands of life can be a prescription for what? Overwhelm. And I'm hearing so much of this from people. I'm just so overwhelmed with so many things to do, I just can't get it done. And when that happens, in the brain, the amygdala will take off and start to release stress hormones. Cortisol levels will increase. And when that happens, you'll start to notice yourself what? Sleeping less, having trouble getting to sleep, aches and pains showing up in your body, trouble thinking clearly, focusing. So come on, guys, let's face it. I know it's not easy, and I don't mean to minimize this, but can you really afford not to invest the time in yourself? Why do I say that? No, not because I'm biased. Whether you take Silva or you do something else or any other kind of retreat or modality you might study, the fact remains, and think about it in your own life. When you're feeling stressed, preoccupied, overwhelmed, so much on your mind, have you not found, like I find, like we all find, that's when you're more likely to what? Make mistakes, have accidents. Errors of omission, leaving things out, things that you typically know elementary that you don't do, and then your clients are upset with you, your customers are upset, you don't give the best quality. And all of that will cost you more time to make up for the mistakes and money, let alone the risks to your health and your well-being. There is a direct correlation, and all the research shows it, between feeling happy and fulfilled in life and productivity. Feeling happy and fulfilled in life and your health and your well-being. And with the cost of medical care today, with the cost of insurance, with even the co-pays, making a small investment, a one-time investment in any kind of training, and in this instance I'm talking about the Silva Method training, is a far cry. It's a lot less in the short run and especially in the long run. Now, what about these 4 days? There's 2 programs. It's actually, the Silva Method has always been a 4-day program, but to be very transparent with you, in the year 2007, from a marketing perspective, a marketing company created 2 segments, if you will, Silva Life System, Silva Intuition. And that was because they began to offer, and I've got a list here of questions I want to read to you, from a marketing perspective, these segments, which is another whole topic. But it's always been a 4-day training. And all of our research, dating back to 1944 through 66, Mr. Silva found, and he tested this with thousands of people, millions of people have been through the training since 66 all over the world, that everybody responds differently. Our program is a meditation-based program. Our program is about altering your state of consciousness to get into a state of ecstasis, ecstasy, flow, to transform your thinking by accessing the subconscious and making the necessary changes to delete, if you will, those files that are not contributing to your higher purpose, that are not contributing to what you want in your life, that are getting in your way and holding you back, whether it be self-esteem, lack of confidence, you name it. We all have this negative chatter that have been imprinted, and it's not going to go away because you read a book. It's not going to go away because a motivational presentation has inspired us or inspired you or whoever. It's going to take rewiring the brain, literally changing, deleting, so to speak, and that takes time, and it's an easy task. And this is a proven modality, and we have found in our work that some people, yes, respond more quickly than others, but over the course of 4 days, we can guarantee that you will make that shift. And when you go through the 4-day immersion, which is by far, yes, you can divide it up over weekends, but by far 4 days in a row is the most powerful, the most effective way. Is how Mr. Silva used to present it, how I was taught, how I was trained, and it by far is the best way to go. So yes, it's a big investment of your time. Usually we go Thursday through Sunday. But when you do, I can assure you, you will make a giant shift in your thinking, in your perspective, in your viewpoint, and you will leave the seminar with the tools you need to take command truly of your life. You'll have made that shift. I find when people do the first 2 days, and sometimes we allow that, as long as you start with Life System, they say, hey, good class, Ken, thank you. But when people do the 4 days, it's like, oh my God, what more can I do? Because of the nature of what we're doing with that. So 4 days is really, for that reason, the time. And I know you need to do this. So maybe you need to call in sick. Maybe you need to take a holiday. Maybe you need to take some vacation time. Maybe you need to get someone to cover and babysit and watch your animals or your children. Whatever it takes, I can assure you, you will thank me. Second question is often about the cost. Big one, huh? Especially in today's economy, especially we're all feeling the pinch of working harder and harder and putting in more and more hours for less return. More and more corporations are downsizing, and managers and people are handling more and more responsibility and maybe being paid less and less. I know it's a tough topic. I realize that, and it's not easy. I agree. But you got to really do the numbers. What's it costing you for your health and well-being? Imagine if you could improve the quality of your health. And all the research shows meditation, when you make it a daily practice, it'll improve the quality of your health and your well-being. And I actually have heard in my 46 years doing this, people telling me, Ken, I've got my whole family doing this, and now when we look at our tax return, our medical costs have dropped significantly. Hey, we're not perfect, but we're not needing to see the doctor as much. We're not needing medications as much. So in the long run, you'll find the quality of life improving. And when you have a better quality of life, when you have more energy, more vitality, you'll get more done in less time. You'll have more energy for the things you want to do, need to do. You'll have more energy to be more productive at work. So I invite you, I encourage you, I urge you to really, you got to look at all the different angles with that. It's a one-time investment. That's it. You pay once, and then you can come back as often as you like, and you pay a very small seat charge to review. That's great. That's fantastic. Thank you. But why would I come back if this is so great and I'm going to leave with all the tools? Why would I come back? Because admittedly, guys, repetition is key. In order to make something permanent in the brain, in order to rewire and make it permanent so you're going automatic, it takes repetition. So I've been very straight over in all my years, my career. It takes repetition, it takes reinforcement, and the world we live in is not so positive. Have you noticed? And we even have some naysayers in our life. People, I know when I first went through the class, I had people say, what would they do, brainwash you? Oh, come on, it couldn't be. It's too good to be true. And that, if you're not strong enough in your own self-esteem, can really get in the way. It's the leading cause of why people slip back into old patterns. Because by our very nature, we like to be accepted. We want to be accepted and loved and respected by others. And every leader in the personal development field will tell you the same thing. You become, I become, we become just like the people we spend most of our time with. So you got to be selective, which is another benefit of doing it live. But guys, when you come back, it's like peeling layers of an onion. I will assure you, you will get more out of it each and every time you come back, because you'll hear it differently, and because you come back open. You come back, you've moved from, does this really work? Which is another question. Come on, I know this works, it's fantastic. My friends have told me about it. I've read dozens of books about your program. But what about for me? Can it really work for me? You know, you don't know my history, you don't know what I've been through, and I've tried everything. It's another common question. That lack of confidence is a fundamental building block in what you can do or not do in your life. It's a fundamental building block that triggers motivation, whether we'll take action or not, whether we'll make that phone call or not, whether we'll speak up or not, whether we'll take that risk and, you know, go into our own business, etc., etc. It's necessary, I understand. So how in the world could this work for everybody? Why? Because you have all this potential already. That's not just me speaking. I'm not just trying to be nice. All the research in psychology, in neuroscience, in going back in wisdom schools for ages, we all know, we all have this incredible human potential, but we just don't know how to access it or to use it. And that's what the Silva Method is. 22 years and now plus 50 years of actual experience with people has been spent in how to make it simple and easy for you. So you bring everything you need with you in the class. And then my job is to facilitate a training, a true training, where you then have some experience, results, even in the first day, let alone over 4 days. So that you leave feeling, hey, you know, you're more confident, I could do this. And all it will take is, that's another one, the time, 5 minutes, 10, 15 minutes a day. And the things you'd want to do, things to help you sleep better, things to help you relieve pain, things to help you improve your sales, things to help you enrich in a relationship. You'll learn mental rehearsal skills, creative visualization skills. I mean, it's a very, very cool program. It encompasses so many modalities, which is what Mr. Silva did. And he didn't do anything new. What he did new was he packaged it, he organized it, he put it together in a structure that we can all utilize. So guys, the answer is, yes, it's time tested. You have what it takes. Are you willing to find that out? And if you've been disappointed, if you've been, you know, shot down, if it's a tough place to be, because, you know, we feel helpless and hopeless, we say, why bother? And that's the point of this. I'm hoping in this video that I can encourage you. You're in good hands if you just come in with an open mind and pay attention. And that's why we guarantee it. Yes, it's another question, guarantee. And I'm not going to guarantee that if you come late and leave early, if you only come for 1 day, no, because I know this is not a quick fix. And I don't know you, and I don't know completely what you're going to need and what kind of conditioning you've had. But I do know, if you will afford me the time and come with an open mind and at least give it a shot and go from very beginning to the very end, participate fully from start to finish, by the time you finish day 4, if for any reason you feel it's not for you, then you can ask for your money back, and then the only thing at risk would be your time, and guaranteed you'll still learn a lot. So again, what's holding you back, guys? Another question. Privacy. Do I have to participate? Do I have to? No. I respect your privacy. In fact, I won't even give your contact information to anybody. It stays with me if you've entrusted me with being your guide. You can ask questions in front of the group, or you can ask them privately. It's up to you. It's classroom style. You're sitting there in front of me. I'm presenting, answering questions, and then we're practicing. And you can interact with other participants as much as you like. It's really up to you. It's a very safe environment. It's very cool. You meet some of the coolest people, some of the friendliest people who want to help and support you. Another question. What happens after? Okay, Ken, you say it takes repetition. Well, that's the point. I've seen so many people come and go, so many great ideas, so many what appears to be a great program, but they're here for a month, 6 months, a year, a few years. We're still here 50 years later. So the answer is when you take this program with me, you get me. And I'm available. I'm very generous with my time to answer questions by phone, not just email. You can also come back to the class for a small seat charge for review. I provide support, Google Hangouts, webinars, teleseminars, all things, a weekly email with now video training, a video blog to support and encourage you, recommended readings, access to information, special programs that might come up, advanced programs, workshops. We have a whole gamut. And no, you don't have to spend more. You don't have to buy something more. You might want to, and you might want to come to these programs. That's up to you. This program, Life and Intuition System, the Immersion, really has it all packed in. So yes, after the class, that's most important. I love when you ask that question, because what really counts is when you leave Sunday evening, what you're going to do in the days, weeks, and months to come. And just know that our organization, our instructors are there in the community. I've been here 46 years in New England, consistently offering this program regularly, consistently there and supporting people. So you don't have to be concerned. Another one, Ken, I've read every book there is. I've even taken the Silva Home Study, CD programs. Right now, presently, they're not available. They're excellent. Yes, I agree. People get good value from them. So maybe that's enough. People think they've got it. I can assure you, it's not what you know that will make the difference in your life. It's not what you know that's really going to help you manifest what you want in your life. Excuse me, I mean to be very respectful of you. Many people have read every book there is. They've been through every training. And I'm going to tell you, it's not so much what you know, it's what you can do with what you know. It's how you implement. And in order to implement what you know, you've got to integrate it. You've got to make it a part of you. And it's got to go on automatic, autopilot, so that you live the principles and you make it a part of your life. And the information by itself won't do it. And that's what's happened to people. They go to programs, mega programs. They're facing the crowd of thousands. Yeah, they feel great. I've done some of them myself. They're fantastic. But then what happens a week or a month later? If you don't have support, I agree. And when you're live, face to face, you've got the synergy of the group, like-minded people, supporting each other, encouraging each other. Makes a big, huge difference. Plus, now neuroscience will talk about mirror neurons. And there's literally, we know when you're in someone's presence, and especially if it's somebody who has a level of mastery of the material that they're talking about, that is transferred. Literally, the research has shown brain cell to brain cell, and all of that impacts, compounds the learning so that you learn at a much deeper level. Plus you're in the aura, so to speak, you're in the energy of the group, and all of that compounds it. Plus your questions can be asked immediately. If you've done any reading about Silva or anything, what happens when you have a question? Who do you ask? Especially now with more and more online, most I'm seeing companies don't even publish a phone number to call for a help center. It's all by what? Chat or email support. Well, my experience has been even the simplest little question, if it's not answered immediately, it's too easy to what? Get discouraged. And if we get discouraged, we say, why bother? And people don't even bother finishing those CD programs, those home studies, or those online programs, because they lose hope. They lose trust. And that rarely happens in a live class. In fact, it doesn't happen in a live class if people are fully engaged, because you're there, your questions are answered immediately, and we make sure that you get this, an undivided attention of the trainer. So guys, I hope this helps. If you still have more questions, give me a holler. I'm right here in Connecticut, Silva Method of Connecticut. Access our website. Or you're getting this, whether it be on my YouTube channel or through an email. So you certainly have many ways to contact me if you have other questions I haven't answered. I would be honored, and I mean that, to be your guide, to facilitate the experience for you. And I thank you for listening. You've blessed me with this. I love doing this. I've used this to get rid of headaches. I don't get headaches anymore. I've used this, you may know my story, to go from D's in college to graduating cum laude. I've used this to raise 3 healthy, prosperous, independent young men and women in this world. I've used this to create a lifestyle that my wife and I thoroughly enjoy. I've used this to help my mother stop getting asthma attacks when she was alive, overcome crippling arthritis, and thousands, a couple 100,000 people that I've worked with up close and personal. I mean, just so many wonderful stories, and I'd like that to be you, and I'd like for you to have a story like that maybe one day you let me use in a class. So guys, thanks again for listening. And remember, you are far more than what you appear to be. In fact, you are better.